Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today is another, I'm going to do it this time, Martial Monday. Woo! Oh, not much to celebrate, though. We're doing another monk subclass, and today is Way of the Four Elements.
This is the option I see most get homebrewed fixed. People really want this to be good, and I get why. Avatar: The Last Airbender, big IP. People love the shit out of that show. The movie was never happened, as far as I'm concerned, as far as a lot of people are concerned. Apparently, the reboots sounds and looks promising. I don't know if you're in the future and it's good. Let me know. If you're in the future and it's bad, don't, and just we'll pretend it's good and that the world's a better place than it probably ends up being. In any case, this is for like all of the people out there that want to be an elementalist and a monk, right? Using the Eastern martial practices of, meditation techniques, fighting, and, all those little intermingling things that come together to make monks something that also command the water and fire and earth and wind and, all that crap. In practice, it is abysmal. It is it largely lacks a lot of unique things to do and doesn't succeed on landing its fantasy in any meaningful way. It ends up getting it lets you basically sell your own resources to compete with half casting at its best case scenario, and that's pretty atrocious. And there are some things in here that I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat and interesting, and I could actually see playing a character with this, and I feel like it might not do as badly as I think. At the same time, there are other features in here that you get at 17th level where I'm like, oof. So, it's weird, and it's not structured like the rest of them, and we'll dive into it, I guess, because it's really just one feature.
Yeah, I was looking through it and I thought, oh, it is structured interestingly.
Yeah.
But then I started looking at the individual features. All right.
Yeah, so the feature you get is called Disciple of the Elements. So when you choose the tradition at 3rd level, you learn magical disciplines that harness the power of the 4 elements. A discipline requires you to spend key points each time you use it, which isn't true in some of these cases. And we'll touch on them on a case-by-case basis, because I have a hunter who's going to go through all of them. So you know the Elemental Attunement discipline and one other elemental discipline of your choice. Now, notably, Elemental Attunement doesn't cost key to use. So we've just been lied to. The first example they give us, it doesn't require key.
After that.
It's just a lie. Okay, I guess we know what we signed up for. Something that's not going to be honest with us. So yeah, you learn Elemental Attunement discipline and one other discipline of your choice. You learn one additional elemental discipline at 6th, 11th, 17th level. Now, there are 16 of these, 17 of these.
I didn't count them.
18 of these, sorry.
Okay.
Now, Bob, I have a question for you before we even dive into this further. If you're making a pool of features that one subclass of one of your 10 classes gets to use, would you limit them to a 4th of those options if it's the only one in the game that gets it? Right? You're making a subclass.
I don't understand the question here.
A big bucket of features that no one else gets access to. Are you going to let them only get a little taste, just a tiny little bit of those features?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I kind of like that because then this is very customizable. No 2 4 elements monks will play the same.
Okay. How many 2 4 elements monks are going to exist?
I'm just trying to look at the bright side here.
Even if the option were good, even if the option were good, if you have 10 features and you're picking between 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2, you're still going to get a huge spread of different monks out there. You getting 5 in total is tiny. It's pitiful. It is for the people that want to dive in and do all the cool elemental stuff, even if you want to commit to one of the 4 elements, you can't really do that because you don't get all the ones you'd want. I don't know. It's a pitiful amount. So anyway, you get 4 of these in total. Plus elemental discipline, the one you start with. So sorry, you get 5 of these in total. 6th, 11th, 17th, elemental discipline, and elemental attunement. Those are the ones you get. The one at 1st level, 6th, 11th, 17th, the free one. Okay. When you learn into discipline, you can place one elemental discipline, you already know the different one. Basically, it says you can swap out elemental attunement down the road, which is nice, I guess. The other rest of this test is called casting elemental spells. Some disciplines allow you to cast spells. See chapter 10 for rules on spellcasting. To cast one of these spells, you can use its cast time and other rules, but you don't need to provide material components for it. So you never have to require material components. Once you reach 5th level, you can spend additional key points to increase the level of the elemental discipline spell that you can cast, provided the spell has an enhanced effect at higher levels, as Burning Hands does. The spell level increases by 1 for each additional key point you spend. Basically, it's saying key points equal spell levels. The maximum number of key points you can spend is given at the shown at the given table. So you can spend a max 3 key points to level up something at 5th to 8th levels, 4 at 9th to 12th, 5 to 13th to 16th, and 6 at 17th to 20th. Basically lets you, like, you know, jam up to 7th level spells. You're willing to burn half of your kit for a single Burning Hands. Okay. So, like, that's all for if you're like just reading the raw subclass features. That's it. That's everything. Everything else that you get is codified as an elemental discipline. And again, you get one new one at 6th, 11th, and 17th level, which are your subclass levels. One single option. If you're a full caster, you get 1 to 2 new learned spells and more spell slots every single time you level up. So, like, I hope these are good.
Well, no, the problem is a lot of these are just spells.
Yeah, overcosted spells at that.
Yes.
So I want to quickly go through the ones you start out the gate with that don't cost anything. So Elemental Attunement lets you create, it's functionally cantrip. You have within 30 feet of you, you can make harmless instantaneous effects that use air, earth, fire, or water. We saw a bunch of cosmetic cantrips get added in the Elemental Evil Players Companion that basically do this. Lets you light or snuff candles, chill or warm food, cause earth, fire, water, or mist within a cube to form a designated shade. This literally is just a cosmetic cantrip. That's what Elemental Attunement is. It's cute. It doesn't cost you any key. It's not a feature. It just isn't. It's a cute little thing you can do to feel like an elementalist, but like fundamentally, that's not enough. So as soon as you can switch it out, you should. You get Fangs of the Fire Snake. So whenever you take the attack action, you can spend a key point to get tendrils of flame stretch out from your fists and feet. Your reach with unarmed strikes is increased by 10 feet. A hit with the strike deals a bonus, does fire damage instead of bludgeoning damage. And then you can spend an additional key point to deal bonus d10 fire damage to it. So for 1 key point, you get reach. And for 2 key points, you get reach and 10 extra fire damage. A d10 extra fire damage.
D10, yeah.
Flurry Blows cost 1 key point. That's 2 extra attacks. That adds a lot more things. Why would you ever use this?
Fire.
Sure. I genuinely think the first half of this could cost no key. I think the second half of this could be a once per turn and cost no key. And I'd be like, okay, that's kind of a 3rd level feature. So Fists of Four Thunders is 2 points for Thunderwave. Not good. Thunderwave is a 1st level spell. You're a 3rd level character. I don't really want to do that. Because I'm spending 2 of my 3 key points at 3rd level for a 1st level spell that my wizard has 4 of. Oof.
Yep, can't argue with that.
Fist of Unbroken Air. So as an action, you can spend 2 key points and push a thing within 30 feet of you. It makes a strike save or takes 3d10 bludgeoning damage plus an extra d10 bludgeoning damage for each key point spent. And you can push the creature 20 feet away from you and knock it prone. This is kind of an interesting feature. It costs way too much key. 2 is way too much. 1 would be an appropriate amount for this. 2 is like, it's your whole action. You're not taking attacks instead of this. This doesn't scale with extra attack. This doesn't scale with anything else you're doing. But it is cool. You're like, woo, knock a thing down, and then you punch it to death a whole bunch, right? At least that's what your friends are supposed to do there.
Yeah, that's it'll have its moment. Well, I guess that's where this shines. It will have its moments where it'll be worth 2 key points to do that. I just don't know how often that's going to come up.
Yeah, if you're knocking something off a cliff, that's when it'll be worth 2 key points.
Or
and
into
the rest of the
an
time,
area of effect, damage spell or something.
And like 3d10 is kind of worth more than a 1st level spell slot, but not quite a 2nd level spell slot. It's like right in the line there. The bonus effect kind of makes it like a 2nd level spell slot. So like the key points, if we're doing 1 key point equals spell slot, it's like close-ish. But like even that ratio isn't good whenever you're thinking about like the resources full casters get versus what you get. Like if you're looking at a key point of a density of 1 key point equals 1st level spell slot, wizards at 3rd level have 6 key and you have 3 because they have 4 first. Sorry, more than that. They have 8 key and you have 3 because they have 4 1st level spells and 2 2nd level spells, and that's 8 points versus your 3. So like you're always getting the raw deal here. We got. Any other things? We got Gust of Wind at 3rd level for 2 key points. That's kind of appropriately costed, but still something you're never going to use because Gust of Wind isn't that good of a spell.
Whoa,
and again, if you pick that, you get none of the
where's Gust of Wind?
Rush of Gale Spirits.
All right, there it is. Okay, yeah.
These are all options that you can get out the gate. These are your choices.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah. You get Shape of the Flowing River. So this is a key point to choose an area of ice or water no larger than 30 feet on a side within 120 feet of you. You can change the water to ice within the area or vice versa, and you can reshape the ice in the area in any manner you choose. This feature is sweet. You can raise the or lower the ice's elevation, create or fill in a trench, erect or flatten a wall, or form a pillar. I'm surprised you didn't giggle when I said erect. The extent of any such changes can't exceed half the area's largest dimension. For example, if you collect a 30-foot square, you can create a pillar up to 15 feet high, raise or lower the square of the elevation up to 15 feet, dig a trench 15 deep, and so on. You can't shape the ice or trap or injure a creature in this area. I think this feature is genuinely really cool. This is a waterbender's fantasy that is actually kind of juiced for getting it at 3rd level, where you can be like, big pillar of ice, we're going to climb on some things, slow down some water. It's going to be niche. You're going to only be able to use it whenever you're around large bodies of water. But in those moments, it should be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, I'm surprised this only costs 1 key point.
Right? And Gust of Wind costs 2? What?
Okay. Yeah, this is why I didn't giggle when you said erect. I was still paying attention to Rush of the Gale Spirits.
Mm.
All right. Gust of Wind. Now compare that to the Fist of Unbroken Air. How are these? I mean, how are these the same level here?
So Gust of Wind is perpetual. It stays around and you keep shooting it up from your position as you're running around doing things, right?
Okay.
So it's got like a persistent effect, whereas this is an instantaneous single instance of damage.
Okay.
If you want both, tough titties. You can't be that cool of an airbender. You get one. The other ones we got here, so Shape of Flowing Water, we got Sweeping Cinder Strike. This is the one I've actually seen used before that character got retired. 2 key points for Burning Hands is a bad rate. It just is. Water Whip is 2 key points. As an action, you create a whip of water that shoves and pulls a creature to unbalance it. A creature that you can see within 30 feet, you makes a dex save. On a failed save, it takes 3d10 bludgeoning damage plus an extra d10 bludgeoning damage for each key point you spend, and you can either knock it prone or pull it up 25 feet closer to you. This is the inverse of the little like air shot thing we saw.
Yeah.
Again, I think this is kind of cool. If 2 key points is too much. And that's all the 3rd level options that we got. So we got like Water Whip, Sweeping Cinder Strike, Shape of the Flowing River, Fist of Unbroken Air, Fangs of the Fire Stake, Fists of 4 Thunders, and Elemental Attunement. Anything stand out to you as that was great?
No. I mean, I guess for the cost, Shape of the Flowing River is probably the most worth it, but I love shoving people around, so Fist of the Unbroken Air is probably my favorite, but I mean, how many key points do we have in total right now? That's that's not fun.
Sure isn't. So there's this is important to mention. They added a feature called Key Fueled Attack in Tosh Called and Everything, which is supposed to help this option. At 3rd level, if you spend a key point on or 1 or more key points as part of the action on your turn, you can make 1 attack with an unarmed strike or monk weapon as a bonus action before the turn ends. This basically gives you a way to get your unarmed strikes to keep going if you're spending spell or key points on spells. So like you could Sweeping Cinder Strike and punch something, whereas before you were just shit out of luck because you didn't attack with an unarmed strike or a monk weapon. So you're like, I guess I just don't get my bonus action attack for martial arts. Key Fueled Attack kind of addresses that problem, but it sure doesn't address the problem with extra attack, where if you're spending key points on these, you're losing out on extra attack. So, that's always going to be a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
I think the easiest fix for this is every single one of these gets a free use, and then drop all the points by 1 to a minimum of 1. And then we're starting to have a real feature. And it's a really easy fix, and the whole bit of it is just give them a little bit more resources. Let the first one be free. We've seen a lot of modern subclasses do that, and it works out really well. You can then attach the extra uses to additional key points, and it's still not going to be good, because again, your wizard has 4 first-level spell slots for their Burning Hands, and you get 2. So, that's not great, but it's a lot better than, half of your resources for a bad spell at this tier. So,
that
that's
sounds perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, if you're here for a quick fix on Way of the 4 Elements, that's my quick fix for it. So getting into our 6th level features, you get Clench of the North Winds, 3 key points for Hold Person, pass. We get...
I mean, Hold Person is genuinely powerful, but 3 key points is quite a lot.
Half your key points for a 2nd level spell at 6th level. So other characters have been doing this for 3 whole levels at this point.
Oh,
yeah. Trash. Unusable. Not trash unusable, but bad. Gong of the Summit is 3 key points for Shatter, which is a 2nd level spell at 6th level. And it's half your resources for a 2nd level spell that your full casters have 3 of, that your half caster buddies have a couple of.
And
Nope.
it's shatter.
And it's shatter. Like, it's AoE damage technically. You're a monk, so you're kind of good at hitting lots of things or hitting one thing a lot of times, but like, I don't want that. No thanks. You get, that's it. Those are your 6 level options. I was like, I had to miss some. Nope, it's those two. It's it's Cleanse of the North Wind or Gong of the Summit. Those are your 2 options you get at 6th level. You get one of those 2, so you can't get both ever. And either of those speak to you?
No.
They don't speak to me either. Okay. On
Like
11th
I said,
level.
Hold Person is powerful, but not that powerful.
Not for going your whole turn as an extra attacker powerful. Because remember, at this stage, you have to decide not to take the attack action twice. And then also get your flurry of blows. And then also get your stunning strikes, right? Like, you're forgoing a lot for that effect. We got Flames of the Phoenix, 11th level. This is 4 points for Fireball. If you need more fireballs, I guess 8d6 is a good amount of damage. Even at this tier, it's still going to probably feel fine-ish. You have 11 key points to work around with. So, like, if you're doing big Nova-E encounters, I can see, like, engaging with a fireball and then running in and cleaning up the mess with your 7 key points carrying you through the rest of the fight and then just assuming you're going to get a short rest. Maybe that's a cool play pattern. We're definitely at a tier at 11th level where you have a lot more points to work with, so these are going to stop feeling so, like, exceptionally restrictive. It's still not going to ever feel amazing, I don't think.
No.
Miss Dance's Gaseous Form. Okay. Ride the Wind is Fly.
Whoa, let's talk a little bit about this one. Missed
Okay,
it.
sure. Gaseous Form.
Gaseous Form is kind of cool, but we did a video on it, and neither of us could think of a real practical way to use it.
It's hard, right? Like,
yeah.
it's kind of infiltration. You, like, go Misty, you sneak around and do stuff, but, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's cool. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
At this stage, hard pass.
Okay.
Yeah, Ride the Wind.
Keep going.
Ride the Wind is Fly. Bob, would you like to talk about Fly?
It's a 3rd level spell, is it not?
Sure is. But they just given him a flight speed here? We've seen so many options just give you a flight speed.
That's true. And
you're an elementalist. You can even like even if they attach the caveat, you have to land at the end of your turn. Sure, that sounds cool. At least that like does the thing to the option once. It doesn't make you spend key points. 4 for Fly? No, thank you. You get other than that, that's all the 11th level options. So we got Gaseous Form, Fly, and Fireball. And you'll notice, viewers at home, we've stopped talking about unique features altogether. There aren't any new cool abilities here. These are just ripped out of spell list and stuck to this monk option. You're not getting cool Fist and Broken Airs. You're not getting cool Shape of the Flowing River anymore. No, you're getting spells. And they're not even good spells. Well, some of them are good spells, but they're not going to ever feel amazing.
Well, they're not good at the cost and at the level you get them at.
Yeah. They're all coming way behind when everyone else is doing their stuff. So now there's a 6th level break before you get to your final capstone features, your 17th level monk options. Oh boy, they better be good. They're competing with Wish. They're competing with Meteor Swarm. There's going to be something juicy in here. It's Cone of Cold. Breath of the Winter gives you Cone of Cold. That's a 5th level spell.
For 6 key points.
6 key points. I mean, you have 17 of them at least.
But I mean, this is like per long rest, is it? For short rest?
It's short rest.
Short rest, okay. That's workable, but
it's better.
Yeah.
That's mainly because you have a billion key points now, though. At least, like, you get 3 uses of Cone of Cold. Or no, you don't. You get 2 uses.
No.
You get 2 uses of Cone of Cold. The moment you want to use it more than once, it breaks down how good it is, right? You're like, oh, that's just the 4th level spells the wizard has, and then they're also still a full cast. Oh, God, so bad. Eternal Mountain Defense is Stone Skin, which is...
Now, with Stone Skin, I don't usually rate that highly, but is it better on a monk because he's, like, naked?
Resistance to non-magical building, piercing, and slashing damage at 17 level. I have a hard time getting excited about.
Level, yeah.
It's stable to your concentration, so if you take damage, it falls off enough times. It takes an action to set up, which means if you're doing this mid-combat, you're porked. So I'm not particularly high on it. I don't hate that like you set it up before going in, but remember that you're not taking the Cone of Cold because you get one of these. And I think you take Cone of Cold over this, right? Like, because that has at least a big impact on the area over and over again. It gives like a new tool. Whereas resistance to some specific niche damage types that this tier of play that falls off quickly isn't that you can't mix into combat, right? Like I find a really hard time seeing that coming together. We got River of the Hungry Fire, which is Swallow Fire for 5 key points. We had a video on Wildfire recently. We both came down on it a lot. I would go watch that video. It makes me not want this.
Yeah, I really tried to like Wall of Fire.
Yeah, me too.
But
this one I know you'll like, though.
Deeper you read into it, the worse it gets.
True. Final option. This is going to be your favorite. It's Wall of Stone for 6 key points. Wave of Rolling Earth. Now you can be a monk and play your civilization builder as opposed to being.
You know what? I don't love this. This is I like Wall of Stone, when you get it as a wizard, but this was not a 17th level monk.
Yeah. So ultimately, this subclass suffers from it being unusable in the early tiers because of just how prohibitively expensive everything is. You will never be happy spending 2 key points on Burning Hands whenever you have Flurry of Blows right there, right? If you want to do anything else with your class, if you want to use Stunning Strikes, if you want to use Flurry of Blows, if you want to use Step of the Wind, if you want to use Patient Defense, if you want to use any of those things, you have to spend key points on them. Your subclass gives you one feature that doesn't require key points, Elemental Attunement, and lies to you and says it will. And then it gives you only features that are obnoxiously expensive to use for what their effect ends up being, which makes this the kind of subclass that it just is it is very hard to get this to work. It is very, very hard, especially in the early mid tiers, for it to feel like you're using any of your subclass features. If you want to use Flurry of Blows twice at 3rd level, that means you're not getting a subclass.
I don't know.
That's a problem.
I got a different fix for this one.
What's that?
If you want to play an elementalist monk, just be a wizard and call all your stuff different things. Call it this stuff. But
yeah. Agreed. You can wear the robes. You can be bald. You can do the whole become really into brewing, and then you can just take these as your spells, and you can yell into the ether, "Fist of Broken Wind" as you cast Gust of Wind.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. This is genuinely hot trash. I think this is an F. I don't think there's many redeeming qualities to it. If you want this to not be an F, if you love it conceptually, again, 1 free use out of all of it, and then drop all the key point costs by 1, and I think you're starting to have a reasonable option. It's still not going to work perfectly, but it's a place to start. Beyond that, yeah, this is
definite F. This one hurts.
Yeah.
Conceptually, it's really cool, and I like how they they do different things where it's not like you get an assigned feature every tier. You get to choose your own. But
I think if this were like how monks features were just structured, I'd be really into it. Like if the monk class just had a techniques table, like an invocations table, right, that has different abilities you can spend key points on that you can sort of pick and choose and build your monk out of, I think that'd be pretty sweet. And then you can let the subclasses give you more free stuff, and you can let these still have associated costs and whatnot, and they can be like, maybe a subclass, techniques and stuff. That seems like a really cool build direction for the option to go. I love the design of it. I even love some of the design options, like conceptually in here. I think Water Rip is super cool. Shape of the Flowing River, I think, is super cool. I like the Fangs of the Fire Snake. I like the idea of, like little flame gauntlets that are snakes that you whip around with. That sounds super spicy. It's just way too expensive.
Yeah, I can't believe they put this much effort into something that sucks this much.
Right?
Oh. All right. Well, do better. Again, we've been saying that a lot lately. All right. That was Way of the 4 Elements Monk. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Let us know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.